and welcome back to the SHM Podcast presented by Hockey Trend. Special guest here from the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, Tate Vader. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
And Riley Chambers. Obviously you two know each other with Chams billeting you, Vade. So welcome to the show, Chams.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Now we'll get right into things. Vade's just talk about getting drafted by the Sioux Greyhounds and kind of your first impression of the organization when it happened.
Yeah, so when I was drafted, I was at the hockey arena for during a camp for the junior B team I played for last year or 2 years ago now. Listowel Cyclones. I saw I got drafted to the Sioux. It was actually on my buddy's phone. He was also drafted to the Sioux, Owen Shore. He said, "Hey, you got drafted here," and I was like, "Oh, really? Sweet." And I knew the Sioux was a great organization, and got the call from Rafty. He said, "Welcome," and obviously I was very excited about that. And then my agent texted me too, and he said, "Congratulations," and that was just a really cool experience, obviously. And then coming up to camp, first impression of the Sioux, I'd never been there before, right? So I didn't know what to expect, and then obviously great arena, great community there. And the more time I spent there, the more I loved it. The people there are just unreal, and great restaurants too. Holy moly!
Gino's.
Love restaurants in the Sioux. Yeah, Gino's. Gino's is great. No, but everything in the Sioux, like I enjoyed so much there, and I miss it. I missed it when I had to come back home. Obviously, like you want to come home, but I do miss the Sioux. I'm ready to come back. So.
Now, obviously, with having to move away, you have to move in with the Billet family. What are your impressions on the Billet family?
Yeah, I didn't know what to think of having a billet because like obviously I lived at my home or I played at home my whole life. I never had to live anywhere else. So going in, I was kind of like, oh, like what's this gonna be like? I didn't know what to expect, but James made it real easy for me. I think we were pretty good friends since I don't know that one day at Gino's, we both got some nice big sandwiches. I think I had a chicken parm sandwich and he had something else and he was jealous of my sandwich. He was eyeing it up the whole time. And so that was ever since that day, me and James were good buddies. And then Charlene, Darcy, Quinn, Cora, they were like a second family the first year. They made everything really easy on me. And basically made moving away from home not so hard, especially when you're 9 hours away rather than, I don't know, one. So you don't see your family that often. So you really got to have someone to help you out. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Throwing Cora in there. Wow, Phantom. Holy fuck.
No, everyone's a part of it. Oh, and the cat. I love the cat.
The cat. That's your bestie.
The dogs. I don't know. People hate on like cat people, but like this cat, oh, he's so nice. He's so friendly. He just comes up right up to you and he like lays on you, wants pets. He wants you know how some cats are like they hate attention, they hiss at you and they like swat at you all the time. Oh, those cats are so mean, but this one he loves attention, Benny. So
shout out Benny.
Shout out Benny. Yeah.
The real reason why you like being up here.
Yeah, the cat. He's my little cuddle buddy.
He's going through Tate withdrawals right now.
Is he?
Oh yeah. He just chills in your empty room.
Just leave my room.
On the bed.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cute. I'll tell him I miss him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but billets are great, and I'm 100% going back next year. I think I'm going up a little early to go camping with you guys at the camp. Yeah, I'm excited for that too.
Come catch some fish.
Yeah, I always wanted to. I've never really caught like a big fish before, so I'm hoping that going up north might help me catch a bigger one. So
I've been fishing my whole life, and I catch horrible sized fish.
So hopefully we'll have better luck together.
Yeah.
I don't know, what kind of fish do you even catch up there? I never really asked.
Depends on where you go, but most places just like smallmouth bass and like pickerel, like walleye, perch, pike, stuff like that.
Okay, you can catch a big pike, a real big pike.
Oh, yeah. Quinner
That's
just
what I'm
always
hoping
seems
for.
to top me in that department.
Yeah, lucky man.
Kid's got crazy luck.
He does have good luck. He's snazzy too. Quinner graduated grade 8 the other week. Shout out Quinner.
Yeah, with the bow tie you gave him.
Yeah, I gave him my bow tie. I told him he had to look snazzy, so
Yeah.
he got a little bow tie on him. And he did look good. He rocked the bow tie well.
Oh yeah, it suited him.
Yeah, not everyone can rock a bow tie. Not everyone.
Oh,
Some people
I can
just
hardly
don't look
rock just
right.
a regular tie most days.
Yeah, so you got to be a special type of guy to rock a bow tie.
Gotta go, no tie unbuttoned.
No tie, but I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that's wild. But
Yeah,
heading to the 22-23 season, you played for Listowel. You played a little bit with them the year before, just a handful of games, but just talk about getting into junior hockey at that point and having Listowel as the place your junior career started.
it was really nice to be able to start my junior career close to home. Like I don't live right in Listowel. I live in a small town called Youngstown, about 5 minutes outside. But so I'm making a 5 minute commute to the arena every day. That was so nice. And obviously, I grew up around the organization. I grew up watching the play, so that was amazing getting to play for my hometown and kind of getting to be an even bigger part of the community, kind of thing. And then making the jump to junior hockey. Obviously, you're playing with guys 3, 4 years older than you, so that was probably one of the biggest difficulties. I want to say just a little bit of jump of pace. I wouldn't say the pace was that much of a struggle, but just a little bit of the size different, playing with older guys, different guys. That was probably the biggest adjustment I had to make, and it definitely helped me going into this year, where again having to play with older, bigger guys.
Now, obviously, you're up in Sault Ste. Marie this year, but Listowel had some success winning the GOJHL. How cool is it as an alumni seeing your team that you started your career with do that?
Oh, it was amazing. I was home by that time, so I got to go and watch them win the Sutherland Cup. And my little brother Teague, he was on that team too, so I got to watch him win. That was a great experience for me. Watch him succeed as well as the team I kind of jumped into junior hockey with.
Now, obviously, with T, he was drafted by Barry, so you went through the process of the draft already, and he got to do that last year. So, what was some of the advice you were kind of giving him heading into into the draft and everything?
Um, During the draft, I don't know. Obviously, you're kind of nervous during the draft. You're always wondering if you're going to go or not, or when you're going to go. And I just said, like, wherever you go, it doesn't really matter. Even if you don't go, like, you just gotta keep working just as hard, no matter what. And people will work hard. Good things come to them. So I think that's what he's doing right now. He's putting in a big summer with me. Me and my brothers both go. We all go to the same gym. We all push each other hard together. I enjoy working out with my siblings because you always have that sibling rivalry. Holy crap, rivalry. And so I think that really pushes me, and I push him. So I think it's a really good thing that he got drafted.
Now, obviously, speaking of the draft, NHL draft this weekend, couple Sioux Greyhounds went today. So, both of you, how excited is it to see those guys go?
Oh, it's amazing. All year long, you play with these guys, you live with these guys. You're kind of your brothers with these people, and getting to see them have success and get rewarded for it. It's great, and obviously, congrats, Mildy, Allie. Um, Amazing to see you guys go.
Over to you, Chams. What are your thoughts as a big Sioux Greyhound supporter seeing those two go?
It's unreal. They both deserve it, obviously. They're hard workers, great players, they perform well. So definitely, yeah, they deserve it.
Now, I'll throw it over to Chams here. I'm sure he's got some questions for Vade, so fire away.
Dude, I don't even know if I have any question.
Yeah, I didn't give him time to prepare these. He doesn't have them pre-written out on a little list.
I had
His notes on his phone.
all this past season. I had to ask these questions anyway. It's just
Yeah,
honesty
you
right
can't put
there.
him on the spot like that.
No,
Okay, but now you are on the spot, so now you gotta give him
now I
something.
am on the spot.
Yeah.
I don't know, Haas. I honestly can't. I couldn't even come up with any questions that I don't really already know the answer
Well,
to.
yeah, me and James have already had these conversations. There's no questions to be asked, kind of thing.
No. I like your multitasking here, Haas. I see you staring at your TV watching the draft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seeing who's going here. Now, Vades, I heard you have a big TikTok career. Let's get into that.
TikTok career.
What made you start making banger TikToks? I've seen them.
Oh, like you've seen them? What TikToks have I made? I don't post them.
James, want to elaborate here?
Well, yeah. What one did you
Might
show
have shown
them?
him. Might have shown him the one prom one.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
He needed
Wow.
some fuel here for the pod.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think I enjoy dancing a lot. I do. I don't post my TikToks. I keep them in the drafts, but me and my buddies, I don't know, they like dancing too. So I don't know. I do my little dance, record it. I don't know, just so I can look at it later and just be like, huh, that's kind of funny.
We'll
Or
get
like show
one
my
going for
friends
the
like,
draft here when you get back.
you want to make a TikTok with me, James?
Yeah, we'll get Quinner in on it.
Oh my god, yeah, that would be funny. A little family TikTok. No, I can't believe you told him about my TikTok. It's very private to me.
My bad. My bad.
No, it's okay. I'm just messing with you.
I needed to give him something here. He
Yeah,
needed something to bring up.
fair. So they just dropped the bomb. I gotta say, I was not expecting a little drop about my TikToks. I was expecting
Okay.
like, oh, like how's your hockey going? But you make TikToks kind of thing? No.
It's okay.
Anything?
It won't be aired on the screen. We're good
No,
here.
it won't. That's good. Doesn't need to be aired on the screen.
No,
Now, obviously, with playing up in Sault Ste. Marie, you're pretty far away from everything in the OHL. So just talk about those road trips out to like Ottawa and stuff. What are some of the things the boys do to kind of keep busy on the long road trips?
Uh, Everyone's kind of got like their different thing that they do. Obviously, road trips are long. Like nine hours is probably the longest we spend on the bus. So I'd say some guys like to play cards. Some guys sleep the whole way. Some guys talk. But me, I spend a lot of time. You know what Brawl Stars is? Have you ever played Brawl Stars?
I think I've heard of it. I don't know.
I've
I've
heard
never
of it.
played it, but I've heard of it. I know people that
Yeah.
have played it.
Well, a lot of time on the bus, or for me at least, and a couple of the other guys, we all played Brawl Stars. It was kind of at the start of the year, it was huge. Like we all played it, and then kind of died down a little bit. And then nearing the end of the season, we all played Brawl Stars on the bus again. We get like a huge group going, and we all play against each other, play with each other. It's kind of, I don't know, childish you might say, but like it got the past the time, and I think we all had fun. I hope
Whatever
so.
works, right?
Unless it was just me having fun. I don't know. I
Whatever
enjoyed it.
works.
Exactly. But
Well,
other than
eerie.
Brawl Stars, you sleep, watch a little bit of TikTok. Sometimes they put movies on the bus. Um, that was great actually. I like watching the movies.
Those Erie and Ottawa trips are absurd.
Yeah. Oh my god. Going to Erie is a long way. Got to go all the way around the lake.
You see what they got you doing this upcoming season? They usually
No, I
got you
haven't.
guys going.
Like
What were you gonna say?
I said, I looked at the schedule like briefly, but I didn't really like dive into it that much.
I saw that like when you guys usually do the Erie trip, it's always like the first. That's like the first stop. But they got you
Yeah,
guys going all the way to Niagara first.
we're going to Niagara first.
Niagara,
So
then
and then
Erie,
Erie's on the way back.
and then Brampton.
Oh
I
man,
think so. They got you going like back and
we're
like they
going
got
all
you
over the place.
crossing and coming back over.
Holy, I didn't know that.
Yeah, something like that.
Speaking of the Brampton Steelheads, pick number 150, Luke Mesa.
Oh
Calgary.
yeah, just now.
Yeah, Calgary's adding to the OHL talent that they've picked up here.
They've got a lot. A lot of
lot
the
of O
OHL
guys.
guys. There's been a lot of O guys go this year.
Another
Like a
OJ
lot.
guy just went too.
Another OJ?
Yeah, from St. Mike's.
Ooh.
Huh.
Now, as anytime I have OHL guys on as Chams knows, we've had some pretty wild answers to this question. But Vades, what are your top 3 and least favorite 3 rinks in the OHL?
Oh, okay. I'd say top 3 rinks. I gotta go Sue 1, obviously. Sue's gotta be 1. I'd say the Odd and Kitch is number 2, because that's kind of my hometown rink, and obviously it's a great rink too. And then 3 might be a tough one. I don't know. I think the Bud is too basic. Like I don't know. Everyone likes the Bud, but I'm not gonna say that. I think I gotta say Ottawa. I think Ottawa's rink is really cool. I really like that one. Except for the walk into the rink. Holy, it's about a mile to haul the bags down the hallway. It sucks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then the worst rinks. Oh, I don't know about the worst rinks.
They should be easy.
Well,
Hey.
I think it's pretty common that nobody likes the Bayshore. Nobody likes
Nobody except
Owen.
Jacob Oster.
Yeah,
Except Jacob
Oster.
Oster. Yeah, I saw that. That was wild. I couldn't believe that when I saw it. That's a hot take that he likes the Bayshore, but no, I think Bayshore's got to be probably the worst one. I think they're due for some upgrades there.
Like one that you're
I
familiar
also,
with has to be in this list. One that you're very familiar with.
I really don't like Saginaw's arena. It's just really cold. I'm not too big on the layout, if I'm going to be honest. And yeah, but they did get some upgrades. New dressing rooms were nice. They did put nice new dressing rooms in. I'll give them that. And then that's 2. Number 3. It's these third picks I got.
I know what I'd put here.
What would you put?
No offense, but I'd have to put Sudbury.
That's it. Yeah, Sudbury.
I've heard the ice is good, but I don't like the rink itself.
No, it's a barn. Though they do have Shoresy. You can give them that. They do have Shoresy there.
They've got that going for them.
Yeah. That guy, Shoresy, that's my guy's from my hometown. He's from Listowel. Jared Kiso.
I remember you saying that,
yeah. So good show. Not a great rink, but I hate the wolf. That wolf every time it's rolled, the wolf. Oh, it pisses me off. The wolf and the howl.
I was about to ask about that actually. As a kid from near Listowel, you probably didn't know what that was until you got up there for the first time. So talk about seeing the wolf for the first time, and obviously you don't like it. So talk about seeing it come across every time they score.
I forget the first time I saw it. I think we played their preseason and they scored. And I want to say like I was on the bench and I saw this like thing coming across the ceiling. And I was like, what is that? Like I couldn't believe that there was just like a stuffed wolf going on a zip line towards the scoreboard. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, what is that? And I saw the howl and I was like, oh my God. So like ever since the first time I saw it, it's like, no, I don't like that.
Do you think they keep it with the new rink? Do you think they bring it over?
I think they almost have to, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who hates seeing it.
Yeah.
So
tradition too, right?
I think they do end up bringing it over. Maybe they update the wolf because it looks like it's been up there for 50 years, but.
Well, put it this way, that rink was built in like the 50s, so.
Yeah, it was. So they might be due for a new wolf.
Yeah.
A new
I think
wolf.
it's been stolen a couple times. I've heard that at different stages. It's been like stolen by people. So
How would you steal the wolf?
hold up. What pick number 160? Connor Clattenburg.
Really?
Clatty one.
Clatty.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh boy.
Holy.
we're just
Who'd he
getting
go to, sorry?
we're getting shockers here. He's gonna be playing with Connor McDavid now.
Really?
Edmonton.
Edmonton. Wow. Oh, he did have a good year too.
You
Former
did,
Sioux
yeah.
Greyhound. Former Sioux Greyhound.
Little breakout year for him.
Yeah, it was. He had a great year. And he
Now,
brings some grit.
Oh yeah.
on that topic, obviously every year in the OHL you have guys come in and leave your team at the deadline. Just talk about the additions and some of the guys that left at the deadline for the Greyhounds and what kind of came in and what you guys kind of lost and how sad it was to see those guys go.
Yeah, obviously losing Claddy, Kostov, and Sis, that was kind of a everyone enjoyed having them around, and they were used to seeing them around the rink. So when somebody leaves and you spend so much time together, it's kind of a shocker once they actually leave. It's like kind of like they're just not here anymore. It's a weird feeling, but I think we definitely got a lot of big pieces in return. Gavin Hayes, Frasca, and Dozodi. Obviously, they helped us out a lot. So I'd say obviously it sucks seeing those guys leave, but I think the guys we brought in definitely helped us out a lot and got to spend a lot of time with them too. And obviously they're great guys and great team guys. Everyone on the Sioux is a great team guy, so it's definitely a good addition.
Tight
Now,
group.
take it
Pardon?
back. Take it back to your first OHL goal. Who was it against, and what do you remember from it?
That's it was in the odd. I remember that first OHL goal. I was actually a power play goal. I always joke about this because I don't know. I wasn't on the power play, but I got thrown out there for the last, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds. And it was Claddy. Claddy passed to me from behind the net. I was kind of just, I came into the zone a little bit late and I found some open space, got the pass. And yeah, it was on my stick and I knew I had to get it off quick. So I got off quick and just happened to go in the net, which was a really great feeling, especially to score in front of all my family, all my friends were there because the odd is close to home. It's about 30 minutes from where I live. So all my family and friends were there. So that was a great feeling to be able to score in front of all them and made my first goal even more special. I know everybody remembers their first goal and that made it more memorable for me.
Romani to Vancouver champs.
Oh really?
Oh,
Not a
now
not
we
a
got
not a bad pick to start off the sixth round. You got a guy who put up 58 goals in the OHL. I'm
yeah.
sure every team in the OHL had to deal with him at some point or another this season, but
Yeah, they did.
yeah, and a guy that's been passed over in a couple drafts here, or at least one. So good on Romani to get picked.
Yeah.
Former
Now,
guest of the pod.
yeah, former guest of the podcast, him and
Little
Nelly.
flex there. Little flex there for you.
Not a big deal there. Now one thing I want to bring up here about the OHL, obviously, every year you have your same teams you face. But one thing is Brampton moving from Mississauga, so new rink. How excited are you to play in a new rink in the OHL this season when you get down there?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I haven't really thought about it that much to be honest, but I've heard the new rink isn't that far from the old one in Mississauga.
It's like 15
I've heard that it's
minutes.
like 15 minutes away. I haven't even really seen the new rink to be honest. I the guys who were talking about it said obviously it's a nice rink, but other than that, I haven't really heard that much about it. I'm sure everyone's excited to spend their not spend their first game, but like play a game there. Obviously, you got to be a little bit curious about it.
Yeah, it's a solid like 5 minutes down the road from the other rinks, like literally across the highway. But I think the biggest surprise there was probably the jersey reveal. as you would know, champs. Like they have this whole jersey reveal on, and everyone's probably thinking, oh, they're getting new jerseys. Nope, same jerseys, just changing one thing on the logo. And
Yeah.
the M for Mississauga on the Brampton jerseys, which is like absolutely wild. But
They still have the patch on the shoulder that has like
still
the
the shoulder
Mississauga
patch,
M.
like
Actually,
yeah.
wow. Yeah, I kind of expect them to change more too.
Now, in
Hopefully,
your
it works for them.
yeah, in your opinion, Vade, what's your favorite Sioux Greyhounds jersey? Because you wore a couple different ones this year.
Oh, I
I
don't
think
know.
I know
There
what this
definitely
is gonna be.
there was a lot of good ones, but I'd say it had to be the Indigenous night jerseys. They were really cool. I
Those were
loved them.
sweet.
The color scheme and the dog on them. I don't know. They were different, but like I really liked them a lot.
Have you seen those,
Also,
Haas?
also
Yeah.
the retro ones, retro Joe Thornton night. Those were sweet too. But I think the Indigenous ones are still number one.
Solid choice. Solid choice.
Now, you guys had, as you mentioned there, Joe Thornton Knight. He didn't get the intro onto the ice that he did at the draft last night from one certain Sharks fan that probably had one too many drinks in the bar before going to the Spear. But talk about having that ceremony and honoring a guy like Joe Thornton that played up in the Sioux.
Oh, it was so cool. I was like, I never really met a Hall of Famer before, or like someone as good as he is. But obviously, getting to see him around the rink and just he was in the room with us too, getting to spend time with him. He kind of just hung out with us, and it was unreal. He was just there, like he was just hanging out with us. It wasn't like oh, like we're gonna get your autograph kind of thing. He was just hanging out, and he actually told me a story about how he tapes his stick. You know, he has that signature or tape job that he does. Not too much tape on the stick. He told me that Mario Lemieux taught him to do that and told him to try it. And then he ended up using it, scored a couple goals, loved it, and that's why he tapes the stick like that. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. He told me a story about that. I was like, wow, like Joe Thornton just told me a story about how he tapes the stick. Like that's cool. But the fans were crazy that night too. After that ceremony, like unreal. I've never seen the rink so loud before. All because Big Joe is in the building.
At those crazy
And
fans there at the other end of the rink that were just yelling at him throughout the
oh
ceremony.
yeah, there'd be a "Let's go Joe" or "Big Joe" chant going on while during the ceremony. What were you gonna say, James?
Oh no, I'm just gonna talk about just basically touch up on what you just said. That was electric.
Oh, it was sweet. It was a really cool experience.
Now, obviously, you guys have that ceremony, and I'm sure you were part of some other ones, but were there any ceremonies this year where it was kind of like, okay, like this is going on a little bit too long, or like you were really kind of taken back on how cool it was?
Um, I'm not really sure to be honest. I can't say I really remember any of them that went too long. I don't know if James can, but I think I don't know. I don't really remember if I'm gonna be honest.
They all kind of feel like they just go by relatively quick most of the time.
Yeah, like they happen and then bang, it's so Canada, and then you're playing. It's kind of a blur to be honest.
Yeah, you just kind of look forward to the game and just kind of
Exactly.
feels like it just goes by fast anyway.
Yeah. And shake out your legs and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Now, for the fans, kind of take us through what a game day looks like from you, from kind of when you wake up at the billet house and when you kind of get to a rink and how everything goes to prepare for a typical night at home in Sioux.
Yeah, so on a game day, usually we have our pregame skate. What's that look for?
No, we're good.
No, I saw a look from
Jared Woolley to the LA Kings. That's a good pickup for the Kings, all right?
that's a big beat. Oh yeah.
Yeah, back to what you were saying here, game day routine.
Yeah, I'll resume my game day routine. I didn't get too far anyway, so yeah, we go to get to the rink a little bit later on game days so we can sleep a little bit more. So I'd say probably start skating. We start skating around 10, then we have lunch around 11. We have the best. I'd say we have the best pregame meals in the league. We get chicken cutlets with either pasta, white sauce, red sauce, rice, a little bit of Caesar salad. That's unreal. We look forward to the pregame meals on game days. Like it's that good. And then since I was still in high school last year, so after the pregame meal, we still had to go to school. So I don't know. I'd go to my class and then do my work and come home. Maybe drink. Or obviously drinking water throughout the day. Then get home. Sit in my bed for a little bit. Sometimes the odd day I would nap. Some days I did. Some days it didn't, depend on how I was feeling. And then James would make me a honey garlic chicken wrap before my game every day. He's my little chef.
Unreal pregame.
It was good. It was so good. It is a good pregame. I don't know. That's just my go-to. Let me play how I needed to play, and yeah. So I think I eat my wrap around 3 usually. Usually around 3 I'd eat my wrap. Head to the ring around 4. Then do my little pregame. Always tape my sticks if they have any puck marks on them. Wax them. We have our pre-scout meeting. Then I don't know. I think I have a pretty basic warm up. I just roll out. Then I go and play sewer with the guys. Usually I was out pretty quick. I think I played sewer a little bit too aggressively most days. I'd always do something stupid and get myself out, and then I'd run down the hallway and go sit on the bench until the clock started, and I'd go do my little warm up, high knees, whatnot. Then go back on the bench, do my arm stretches, and then run back into the room. Nothing too special for me. And then game day, win the game usually, hopefully.
Get some BioSteel in you throughout that time too.
Yep, BioSteel. Yeah, James gave me some BioSteel.
It's a must.
I spilled it all over the table because I couldn't fit it in a water bottle. It was kind of embarrassing. I don't know why I thought I could fit in the bottle, but it was everywhere. It was like in the cracks.
Gotta take a sip first. Gotta take a sip.
Yeah, I spilled it everywhere. I felt really bad. I made him clean it up too because I had to go. So, yeah, and then come home from the game, have a little bit more food to eat, and head to bed. Usually when we have a game, we have another one soon, so got to get rested up, right?
What are those post game meals looking like?
Post game meals, it really depends. Sometimes there was like a little thin flatbread pizza. Those were good. Leftovers from supper. Just little snacks. I like what was the one leftover I had that one day? It was like leftover. Charlene Willetmom makes amazing food. So like there's just one pasta. It was like sausage and pasta. Creamy. It was so good. I loved it.
That was your last meal before you went back home too.
I always asked her to make it. So that's really what I hoped for when I went to look in the fridge when I got back home.
I'll have to show her this because she's getting shout outs.
Yeah. Give it all the shout outs right now.
Now, obviously, still being in high school last year, having to balance that and playing hockey was probably difficult at some points. But talk about sometimes if you walked in a class, like was there some of your friends that were like, "Oh, like good game last night," or like did a bunch of your buddies come out and support you throughout the year?
Yeah. So like, do you mean like my buddies in the sewer, like buddies from back home, like
Kind of a mix of both.
Yeah. So I don't know. Going to school, I made a couple friends in my classes, my English class, my physics class. So coming back after playing a game, like obviously you talk to them about the game, And then they just said like congrats, like, or they asked questions about the game, or like something happened, say like there was a crazy player or whatnot. You talk to them about that. So I had some friends up there, up in the sphere that I talked to, and then back at home, my buddies, they all kept track of the games. Some of them would watch. They look at the little score tracker. So that was nice to know they were keeping track. Nice to have good friends like that. And then whenever I would play close to home, like Kitchener, Guelph, London, they'd always come out and watch, buy some tickets, and I'd go and see them after the game. So that was really nice to get to see my buddies, because obviously you're gonna miss your friends. Um, so that was really nice of them to come support.
Now, obviously, you're used to a big crowd in Sault Ste. Marie most nights. In
Yeah.
your opinion, what's the best and worst crowd in the OHL?
Okay, London's got to be the best. Us in London. London just has so many people there because their max capacity is huge. So their rink's always loud. And then obviously our rink's always loud too, even though our max capacity might not be the same. I think our fans definitely yell a little bit louder. And then worst fans. Oh, you're gonna have to give me a minute to think about this one. I think I can't ever remember Saginaw having great fans. The arena was never really sold out until playoffs and Mem Cup, I don't think.
Not even during playoffs. Like when I went up during round 2 there for the second game in SAG, there was a lot of empty seats actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think Saginaw had great fan turnouts. I'm trying to think of any other teams that wouldn't have great. I don't remember. We were only in Kingston briefly, but like I don't remember Kingston having a great turnout either.
Then you got like Sudbury, who's like inconsistent crowds. Like,
Yeah, on and off kind of thing. But no, definitely SAG #1 for least fan turnout.
keep the rivalry strong here, eh? Holy.
Yeah, we got to keep it strong. I don't know. It's just a thing. Sue and SAG, not gonna
Yeah.
like each other.
I almost like that rivalry over Sudbury and Sioux.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree.
I think I find the SAG one more entertaining
Me too.
nowadays, at least. Maybe not back
Yeah.
in like the 2010s, but
No, this is like the new rivalry kind of thing.
yeah, there's more competition now.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of Sudbury, they don't have the worst fan base in that division, James?
Oh, are we going there? Are we
There-
going there right now?
There might be a certain team that struggled with attendance this year, which we don't need to bring up too much. But hey, always good to see the road fans going to support in that building, which
We'll
was
talk about Mississauga.
quite loud some nights.
I
Some
apologize to the 6 fans that could be
Was-
watching this.
hey, maybe there'll be 7 in Brampton. You never know.
Oh, just ruthless.
Yeah, someone's not a Mississauga fan.
Great rank. I mean,
Oh, great.
it's honestly at the end of the day, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but it is a shame that you have such a great building like that, holds over 5,000 people, and you can't fill it every single night. Not saying that you would, but again, Mississauga is not really a huge hockey community with Toronto being so close and the Leafs and everything, but
It's just a tough market.
it's
Yeah.
a tough market, and I feel like hopefully Brampton will have better success. Like obviously they've had the battalion in the past. That didn't go the way they wanted it to, but
They had a coast team as well.
yeah, and an East Coast team that worked out for a little bit. So I think they're really kind of hoping that it's gonna work out this time around. But kind of on that topic, and you both can answer this, but if the OHL was to expand again, let's say next 2 to 3 years or maybe 5 years down the road, where do you think a good spot for an OHL club would be?
I feel like this was a conversation. I feel like I had this one with James a while ago. I feel like one of those places was
Yeah.
Cornwall by Ottawa. I think they've got a decent population, and yeah, they're close to Ottawa, but I think they could get some fans to turn out there.
You got a good barn too. They got a CCHL team.
Yeah, they already have a barn. Yeah, the CC team is already there, but I feel like that would probably be the best option. There's really not many, I don't think. Like, where else would you put one?
Yeah, there's not really any other places that could be able to house a team.
Exactly. So like I think Cornwall is definitely my pick.
Yeah,
Because
I feel like Cornwall would be a good spot. Maybe like Leamington or something. Like they got a decent arena for their
Yeah.
hockey team that they have now. That was obviously a junior B team before. Yeah, there's not really too many spots that unless like the other thing you can take into consideration is there's a lot of places now that are building new rinks too, right? So like
Yeah.
you could just have a random city pop out of nowhere that's building a brand new facility, right? So
Yeah.
um actually looking at the schedule for play or preseason for the OHL, Kingston and Ottawa are playing at the Cornwall Civic Complex in September. So I think that's back-to-back years that they've gone to Cornwall. At least the Ottawa 67s have to play a game there. So I think the OHL is definitely testing the market there to see
Yeah.
what can kind of happen there. Now, not sure if you've had the chance to do this, Vades, but a lot of teams or a certain amount of teams in the OHL kind of play preseason games at a different facility to try and test the market out. What are your kind of thoughts on that and seeing how it's gone the last couple of seasons with teams trying it out?
I haven't been able to, or our team hasn't played in a different arena, different place for preseason, but I definitely think it's a good idea because how are you going to know what the market's like unless you test it? So I think there's no better way to figure that out other than playing there. So I think I agree with that.
Now,
if I was gonna say, if you don't mind, Haas, I was just gonna give like input there for a
Love to
sec.
chime in.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
No, I remember like a few years before you got here, Tate. I think with the Hounds played a preseason game in Chatham against Sarnia, and they
They
also
played
played.
Chatham.
Yeah, they played in Chatham against Sarnia instead of, I don't know why they didn't just play Windsor, but
Really?
yeah, and then they also played a game in like Midland, like Michigan against SAG in preseason.
Huh. I didn't
Yeah,
know there was a rink in Midland.
yeah,
That's kind of different. I didn't know they did that.
yeah. I don't. I think those are like the only two times that I could recall though that they ever played anywhere. But the main barn in a team that actually, or a place that actually has a team.
Imagine an O team in Chatham.
Yeah, feel like it just wouldn't work. It's too close with like Windsor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it'd work either. That was a joke. It was supposed to be a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, also looking at the preseason schedule, I don't know if you two remember this, but remember when Kitchener had that like preseason showcase a couple of years ago? I think they're doing that again because like I could be wrong here, but Friday, August 30th, Brantford plays Saginaw at 2 o'clock in Kitchener. Erie plays Brantford on the 31st in Kitchener, and then Erie and Saginaw play September 1st in Kitchener. So I'm assuming that they're bringing that kind of showcase tournament style back where couple days, like that entire weekend, they have a bunch of games. I'm assuming Kitchener is gonna have a couple games mixed in there, but I think the last time they had like they brought Moncton in, if I'm right, Chams. So what are you guys kind of thoughts on having like a little kind of preseason tournament kind of style? I think the OHL should adapt that at some point to bring in a bunch of teams into one central area, and I think it'd work out pretty well.
Should do one here
Yeah.
with Saginaw, North Bay, and Sudbury.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could.
Kind of brings that like minor hockey feeling back a little bit. Little bit of fun. Kind of a nice little, almost like a tournament. I think
Yeah,
it'd be fun.
it's just preseason too, right? So
Yeah.
wouldn't hurt anything. Like, might as well, right?
Exactly. Showcase your talent a little bit.
Yeah, so it looks like it's the Brantford Bulldogs, Saginaw Spirit, Erie Otters, Kitchener Rangers. Yeah, so it looks like just 4 teams that are kind of split over a 3-day set there. I'm assuming all the games are at the odd. So that'll be cool to kind of experience for that. I mean, obviously bringing a couple of the teams across from the US, but um another thing I actually want to bring up is obviously you're used to playing in Canada. What is it like playing down in the States for an OHL game? How wild is it having to bring your passport on a road trip sometimes and having to cross a border to go play a game?
Yeah, it's different. Um, I'd say the biggest thing is not forgetting your passport. I know that there was a couple times going to the rink, you're like checking in your bag, like, oh crap, like my passport in there, and sometimes you get to the rink and we'd say like, oh, we're going over the border, and people would be like, what? Like we're going over the border, and guys would have to drive home and grab their passports, and so very very last minute. Um, it's definitely more of a nuisance having to bring your passport because it's just one more thing to forget. Like you could forget equipment, but you're always going to have spare equipment, but you don't have a spare passport. So you forget your passport, you're screwed.
Have any of the guys forgotten a passport for a trip and the team had to wait a little bit for the guys to go get their passport?
No, usually like people have forgot it, like bringing it to the rink, but then somebody would say like passports, like on like you write it on like the board in the room, and they look at it and be like, crap, drive home quick and go grab it.
Have you ever done it personally?
No, no, I haven't. I've been close. I think one time I was going out to Jimmy. I was going out to Jimmy and I was like, I'm forgetting something, so I ran back inside and got my passport, and then I was good.
It's nice, like when you forget, but like you haven't left the driveway yet, so you're still safe.
Yeah, I got lucky. I definitely got lucky because it would have been I think it was the winter time too, so would have took me a while to get back.
No kidding. Since
Sioux
the
winters.
city likes to neglect our street when it comes to plowing snow, too.
Yeah, yeah, not too much maintenance on our street. A lot of potholes too. Bad.
Brutal.
Calling out the city of Sault Ste. Marie now. Hopefully the potholes get fixed
Oh,
up.
they need
Yeah,
it. They need a wake up call.
fix our potholes. Moss Road, Sault Ste. Marie, please.
Want to drop the address while you're at it too?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that, but
No, you're good.
didn't drop the specific house. It's okay.
I've had some legends stay on this street anyway.
Yeah, there has been. Who was it? Matt Murray?
Matt Murray,
Matt Murray did.
Utah Hockey Club, soon to be legend Matthew Villalta.
Oh, there you go. Two.
Been a lot of attendees. A lot of attendees stayed on this street.
Yeah.
A lot.
Now, one thing that I also want to bring up, I know Chams is a big supporter of this, but Sioux College, they've got a pretty gross women's hockey team. How cool is it?
Yeah.
Another successful program in the city of Sioux.
Yeah, I think it's great. James tells me about it all the time, how they're undefeated and everything. He's like fangirls over the Sioux College team.
No, I just honestly, sorry to interrupt. Just gonna pipe up here.
Yeah.
I did stats for them. Okay, that's the only reason why. Like, I just found it interesting. After a while, it
Sure
did
it
get
is.
boring. They got boring
Yeah.
watching them smoke teams 20-0.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good. So definitely cool to have another really successful team in the town, in the Sioux, and great for James too. Gives them some more, another team to cheer for.
Regards to the T-Birds on that one.
Oh, you like T-Birds? How about the T-Birds? Holy moly, they're always good too.
Yeah, they're usually pretty solid.
The Centennial Cup for them.
James is gonna lock in his Sioux College season tickets now today to
Yeah,
every single
season ticket
game
holder.
next year.
I am not paying entry now that my student card is expired. I'm not paying to go and watch that. Dude, I'm not paying more to go and watch a Sioux College game because I could pay less and go watch a Noj game instead.
Fair.
Wait, you could pay less to watch a Noj game than
Literally, it's like the same price, if not like a $5 difference. With Sioux College being the more expensive one, like I never had to pay because I was like either working at the game or I just used my student card for entry. It was just an excuse to crush beers though with my buddies, if I'm being honest.
seems valid.
I'd say.
So that's why you like going to the game so much.
Hey,
It's one of the reasons for sure.
Yeah.
less people to to see me crushing these beers and at a Hounds game, and I'm also paying less. I'm not paying $11 for a cup of beer that's like this big.
Fair enough.
Another shot at the city of Sault Ste. Marie on that one. Great city though.
Ripping them. It is. It is amazing city.
Now, I know that Sault Ste. Marie was in the mix for it this year with Memorial Cup bid, but a couple of years down the road, the OHL is gonna have it again. I believe 2026. I believe. Where do you guys think the Memorial Cup's gonna go next time it comes back to the OHL?
Here, Sioux. It's coming to the Sioux.
Just give it to us already.
Exactly. Don't even need to pick.
Got screwed over by COVID the first time.
Yep.
Then this time, I'm not gonna get into this one. I've voiced my opinions already.
Yes, he has.
off camera.
Private.
Yeah, very private. I don't wanna mess with any future opportunities I might have for myself by saying something personal here. Trying to be a scout,
Next
so
question.
I don't want the bad luck. Next question.
Kieran Walton is a 6th rounder to the Winnipeg Jets as well. Big D man from the Sudbury Wolves that you guys probably had some good battles with this year.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's a pretty skillful player too, no?
Yeah, 18 goals this year, not too bad as
Yeah.
a D man.
Solid.
Dallin Wakely to Edmonton too.
Really?
Yeah, Alberta teams are really loving the OHL guys.
Yeah.
No kidding.
For good reason.
How wild was it every time you guys played North Bay that knowing you had to shut down the Romani, Wakely, and Van Steensel line and what they did to the OHL this year? How crazy is that?
Yeah, it's definitely something we had to be aware of pre-scout and everything. We kind of knew that they'd be the ones producing, so I guess we just continue to play them like we play any other team too. Oh, there you go. He's back. Yeah, just keep playing the D zone that we always play and execute it, and I think we're good.
Now, you guys get pretty fortunate with some great content coming out of Sault Ste. Marie. Who are some of your favorite content people around the league that you always see post pictures and love their content?
You obviously, like, I gotta shout out you. I'm not really sure on most of the content people. I know Wilbs on TikTok. I know him. I know you. I'm trying to think of the other content people, but I guess I really only know you two, I guess.
Yeah, shout out to Wilb's Murder Mystery.
Those are wild.
Hey, Tate was a part of one of them.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
It was.
I would say what Wilb said when Tate popped up on the filter, but what's the rule for cussing here, Haas?
No, you can say it.
All right, he goes, Tate Vader, the fucking rookie.
Yeah. That was funny.
I like how Wilbs always comes up with like the randomest like ideas to like posts. Like I couldn't even think of like
He's creative.
I could be just sitting here and being like, oh, I'm gonna make a murder mystery OHL style here. Or like a murder mystery all London Night style as he likes to do.
Yeah, he's creative.
I mean, his account is all London Night style, anyway, mostly.
Yeah, it's okay. Junior hockey content specialist and 95% of our posts are London Knights, but it's okay.
At least for the last 3 months, it has been.
Yeah, the last 3 months it's been pretty
Yeah.
wild, but I'm sure Welbs has been thrown around the Sioux dressing room a little bit with posting a little bit of content with Sault Ste. Marie throughout the year. So what was Sioux's first impression when you guys first saw him popping up posting this stuff, Vades?
Obviously, like you're gonna be curious. Like when you see like the Sioux or like your name get thrown into a TikTok, you're gonna watch it. Like you're gonna look at it. And I think all the guys loved it. I think they enjoyed it. They like looking at it. They like to see seeing what he had to say.
What was the other TikTok you sent me of the 3 Sioux Greyhounds, Jams? Who was that? The Dan.
Do you know which one I'm talking about, Tate? The Good Boys one with
this?
The what? Sorry?
The Good Boys one. The Good Boys go to Hideaway with Dino.
Oh my god, yeah.
That one's actually been posted. This one's okay to talk about. This one's out there.
This one was posted, yeah. I do remember this one.
Chams, where did you send me it? Because we got to do a side-by-side comparison to see what Vades.
It might be on Snap. I think I came across it and like I almost scrolled I almost just kept like scrolling right through, but then I don't know, like last second I saw it. I think it was like Bryce that stood out. Bryce with his like goatee. I was just like, wait a minute, and I saw the shirt. So I went back. I was just like, oh. So
yeah.
I watched it. And, like I don't think I've ever I laughed pretty hard. The comments got me going too.
What were they? What were the comments?
Like,
you remember?
Vandy, like Caleb Vandeven commented. He goes, "Oh, hey guys."
That one got
just like some of the boys are commenting, whatever.
Gotta try and find this now because I sent you the other one that we're gonna talk about in a second, Chance, but because that one got posted first. I don't know if you saw this one, Vades, but Bokey, Cowan, and was it Bonk? I think they did it first.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And
yeah,
that got sent to me by one of my friends, and I was laughing so hard at that one. Like that one was like right after you win the OHL, you're just gonna make a TikTok about this, right? The Royal Cup, but that one was good. Let's see if we can find these two to have side by side comparisons. Oh, I found both of them actually.
BNB.
Oh my god, I forgot. I haven't watched this in so long.
Dude, I don't know how the boys on the couch in the back are just keeping their composure throughout that.
Straight face.
Becker looked like he had an opinion on it.
We're gonna try and find, or we'll get the other one here, and we're gonna run a little poll. We'll throw this up as a post to see who did it better, Sioux or the London Knights boys here. I gotta find the.
I've seen both, and I've got my vote already.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we gotta.
I don't know. I feel like Randy's portion was kind of the cherry on top for it all.
Oh yes, it was.
Just
he can move.
He had Dino and Bryce cracking up.
Oh yeah. No, he's a funny dude.
Gotta find the London version now, because that one was good. I think the Sioux boys take it by a little bit, but
just like the regular season head to head.
Yeah.
Pokey deleted it.
Oh.
Because I clicked on it, it said the video is unavailable, so I think the Sioux Boys win this by default because the London one was taken down. So
Only one still up.
yeah, only one still up, but not bad. That it's pretty funny to see the OHL guys get into stuff like that though. Like you kind of don't think that they're gonna be making TikToks like that, but
Yeah,
definitely,
everyone likes to have a little fun.
yeah.
Shout out Dino here. Wouldn't make a TikTok for the team account, but went and made his own with the boys and posted it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope
Cool.
that TikTok account keeps rolling next season for the team.
I'm sure it will.
Gotta get
I'm
on
sure
it more.
will. Yeah, I don't know. I think I was in a couple this year, no?
What's that?
I said I was in a couple of those TikToks this year.
Yeah, I think
Not too many,
you
but
might have won the like jumping without bending your knees.
you think so?
It was yeah, I think it was close between you and Shanks.
Oh, just look like an idiot when you're doing it, though.
I know it looks
Like
weird.
a complete idiot.
I don't know
It's
if Taylor
definitely
and
laughable.
Randy. I don't know if theirs even count.
No, a little bit knee bend.
Very
Just look
little effort.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Looks like Will Nickel also went to the Edmonton Oilers, so Alberta teams continuing the
Holy.
trend of picking the OHL boys. Jacob Figberg also to Seattle here, so OHL
A lot
boys
of O guys.
rolling
Yo's
on.
having a good year here.
The O's going out west.
A lot of them now.
Another Brampton boy there with Figberg going. Now, obviously, this is the last in-person draft, from what I've been told. What are you guys' thoughts on it going to more of like a centralized thing next year? I feel like I think that's gonna be more wild because the way like the NFL does it and everyone just kind of sitting at home and there's gonna be cameras in like people's houses now and like there's gonna be some like wild reactions, I feel like now.
Yeah, I never really thought about it like that. I thought it was always cool how they'd have the draft in person and like everybody would go there, but I never thought about like the reactions people would have at home. I feel like people would be more a little bit drastic at home. So like you're definitely right. I think there's gonna be some good ones. Like Beckett Seneke's reaction.
That
Yeah,
was priceless.
That was a good one. That was real good.
I don't know. I like the in-person one just because I feel like I don't know. I feel like it definitely feels cool, like being able to like go up on the stage and whatever, and walk the draft floor and whatnot. But I guess either way, it's probably still a cool experience no matter what.
Yeah. Probably saves you a little bit of money to not have an in-person event. I'm sure renting out that bubble costs a fortune.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then there's like hotels and all that, and it's a whole week, right? It's
yeah.
a whole
Yeah.
week of just like
A lot
events
of
and
money.
everything. So
Though the thing I'll want to know, and who knows if you'll ever be able to find out this, I'm sure you can with like NFL, but like for like the first like five guys, you kind of have an idea like throughout the year where like people are gonna go. Like you're gonna know like the number one to three slots, kind of like who's solidified. Obviously, it was a little bit different this year, but um, I like NFL wise, like there's 30 teams. Like you're second to seventh round pick for this draft. Like, is every team gonna send you a draft hat? Like, how are you gonna like have the right one
Yeah.
to throw on? Like, that's what I kind of want to know. Like, that also ties into like what happens with all like the stuff like with like the Edmonton Stanley Cup merchandise. Like, what happens with all that stuff, right? Like, it's gonna be
Yeah.
so much stuff that like guys are gonna have like random draft hats next year now, and like you're gonna be like selling them on like Facebook Marketplace or something. Or
Rate the garbage if they don't go there.
yeah, like their
that's the,
buddies are gonna get like random hats now. Like
that was the thing with like the 2020 like NHL draft, obviously because COVID, it was like it wasn't in person, and in a few houses like with the cameras, you could see that they just had like a table out in front of them that had every team's hat on it, and they just grabbed whatever one drafted them. But I was like, who's in charge of like sending them all these hats? Like, what do you do? Like, well, obviously, what are you doing with the ones after? And then obviously like the championship hats and whatnot too. Like same thing. I was like, do they? What happens to the team that doesn't
Yeah,
win?
where did those go?
I think it's more like wild because like the team's gonna have to send you a jersey if they want you like you to throw a jersey on. Like
Yeah.
obviously they do it pretty well. Like when they in person, they like a lot of teams will have like the machine that they can put a name on the jersey like right away,
Hmm.
like kind of before the pick. But it's gonna be more wild next year because like what if there's a random pick in the top 10 that like you're not expecting, right? Like you're gonna probably have to have like 3 or 4 jerseys kind of ready to go. Like
Yeah,
it,
I don't know. I have no idea how they're gonna work that one out.
it's also wild how it's like 11 o'clock in Vegas and there's like no one at the draft right now. Like everyone's just kind of left. Like obviously they're rolling in the 7th round right now, but like
Yeah,
Long process.
nobody
well,
wanted to stick around.
yeah, having to be up at 8 a.m. to get to the Spear for your draft day and be sitting around
Yeah,
all day has definitely been tough, but um it's definitely something that it's cool to see how the draft kind of goes in person and how it's gonna be different next year now with having it at home. Like I feel like that could honestly like something like that could turn into like a Netflix documentary because like the wild reactions and like you always see it on like TikTok when the NCAA kids are like announcing where they're gonna go, and like some of the moms' reactions to those are hilarious. If like the kid picks like a different school than like the parents want,
yeah.
like there was one where like the kid chose like Alabama or something, and the mom like straight up got up and laughed, and they're like, "Who just lost?" Like, oh, that was my mom. Like she wanted something else. Like.
Roll
Yeah,
Tide.
I'm pretty. No, that'll definitely be interesting next year. Kind of excited to see it.
I like the behind the scenes stuff though, of like drafts and whatnot.
Yeah,
It's
those are
cool
cool.
to just see like the process behind it.
I
Now,
agree.
Now, James, you know how this kind of goes. You've seen it on social media and stuff, and I'm sure you have too, Vades. But the QMJHL has their draft in person. Now, obviously, the OHL and WHL does that differently, but what do you guys think about the OHL maybe doing that eventually? Like have an in-person draft like that. I feel like that would be pretty cool. You find a centralized location throughout the league every year and make it happen. But I feel like that would be a pretty cool experience.
I agree. Especially for like all the you're younger, we're like in the OHL draft, like what you're 16 years old. So getting to do that as a 16-year-old kid, like that would be unreal.
Yeah, I'd honestly wouldn't mind seeing that become a thing.
Yeah.
Now, another thing tying into draft, obviously you got your OHL draft and you get the NHL draft, but you get the top prospects game, which is changing a little bit next year. So what are your guys' thoughts on the CHL now kind of adapting all 3 leagues to play against the US National Development Program? Because obviously there was a lot of development kids that got drafted the last couple of days here in the NHL. So I think it's gonna be a pretty cool experience to get that for next year for the NHL draft guys in the CHL.
Yeah, it brings a little country rivalry into the top prospects game, which is cool. It's going to make the games more competitive too, I think, because I don't know. I feel like the games are already competitive, obviously, with them being interleague. Everyone wants to win, but with there's always that rivalry between Canadians and Americans. You're always going to have it. So I think it's definitely gonna help the competitive factor and enjoyableness too.
Yeah, I like the idea as well. I think it'll definitely be a cool thing to be able to watch. Kind of obviously they don't do this anymore. They haven't done it in a while, but reminds me a lot of like when they used to do like before, like ahead of World Junior camps and everything. They used to do like the Canada versus Russia series as well, where they'd have a team of OHL guys, Q guys, and WHL guys, and they'd play against Russia's team or whatever, just as kind of like a almost like a pre-camp thing for World Juniors.
Yeah, like I feel that's something I feel like in the next couple of years is probably going to come back because obviously, we're not going to get into political side of things, but you get Russia like that series taken away for a couple of years because of everything going on in the world, but you get the US Canada rivalry going next year, and I feel like in the next couple of years they could even make it into a bigger thing. Like you get like a Russian team involved into that, like do like a Four Nations style kind of thing. Like obviously it's a little harder because it's that kind of events like that happen during the season, and it's hard because like a lot of teams lose their top guys, and um especially at a tough part in the year when it's after the trade deadline where you've already had a little bit of a freeze where everyone's gone for World Juniors for like a month, and then guys are kind of gone for another probably 3 4 days for this event now. But I think in the future it'll be kind of cool. Like you're obviously going to see it with the Russians being allowed back in the CHL import draft this year, which is in a couple days here. I think July 3rd or something like that. So that'll be cool to see teams helping and getting those guys back in the league because there's been a little bit of parity where not a lot of Europeans have been in the league the last couple of years, and there's a lot of skillful players coming over from Europe that have torn up the OHL in the past. So I think it'll be good. But um, another thing I feel like that the OHL should do is an all-star game. Like I feel like that would be like a sick event. Like again, you pick a centralized location every year in the OHL, and there's a lot of good markets they could host. And I'm sure like they ever did it, London would probably get it first, and then like Sioux or the Odd would get one. But what do you guys think of that? Like I feel like an all-star game like weekend would be sick.
That would be sweet. It would give a little bit more of like a pro feeling, like just how the pros have the All Star game, the skills comp and whatnot. You could definitely do that for the O2.
I feel like it'd be entertaining for sure to see that.
Yeah, like there's got to be like something that happens because I know they used to do it years ago in the OHL. Like
Yeah,
think
they had one in like late 2000s,
yeah,
like
like
2009 or something,
2008
2008.
or 9 or something, and obviously it's a little harder when you've got now a couple American teams and guys having to cross the border and stuff. Although like every team kind of has to do that already, but um it's definitely a cool experience that I feel like a lot of guys really don't get to experience too much. Like obviously you still get it in minor hockey with like the U16, U18s, you always get all-star games there, and then you basically have to wait like 4 or 5 years to get it again unless you go play in like another junior league, right? So that's one of the things that I feel like over the next couple of years should be adapted back. But I feel like the OHL is doing a pretty good job with um promoting stuff throughout the year already, and obviously playoffs goes pretty successfully, and um easy to get a lot of good talent out there and stuff. But it'll be interesting to see how like next couple of years go. Like NHL's obviously trying new things with like Four Nations and everything, and you always get the Olympic breaks every couple of years, so it's kind of hard to lose guys. But I feel like again, it's gonna be something that the OHL could adapt over the next couple of years and would be would be pretty good.
Yeah, I think an All Star game would definitely help out the league. It'll be a really cool experience for a lot of players and for fans to have all the talent kind of like localized into one area. You get to see everything at once, kind of thing.
Publicity thing too, good
Yeah,
media, like good for media and whatever as well. That'd be something that you'd be able to get your hands on, Haas.
Yeah, it'd be sick. I want to try and get into like this like the CHL US development thing. I feel like once that comes to OHL, that'd be a cool experience, and definitely try and get into like Memorial Cup when it comes back in a couple of years. But I could be wrong, but and it seems like maybe the WHL gets that event to start it off this year. I feel like, just because like when the CHL posted it, they collabed it with the WHL. Now, who knows if they sent it as a collab with the other two leagues and they just didn't accept it, but I kind of saw that it was with the WHL, so maybe that was kind of maybe a hint towards it because I know they haven't announced it yet, but um I think it would be definitely cool. And I mean, you see all the different events like Telus Cup and all those ones that are big events. And I feel like this one's going to turn into something that's going to be pretty big over the next couple of years. And I mean, it's really the best on best. Obviously, you get that with the all the top prospects playing in that game in the CHL every year. And now you get to kind of dip into a different market with um seeing the American fans getting to see all these Canadian kids that they probably didn't know too much about already, right? Like OHL is not that big in a lot of southern markets in the US, and I feel like that could be something that's gonna really market the league a little bit more. I mean, you're competing so much with like the USHL and all the leagues down in the States already for marketing, and I feel like it's gonna be a big thing over the next couple of years here, and it's gonna be interesting to kind of see how it goes. I mean, um you've already got fighting banned in the QMJHL, so who knows how that goes over the next couple of years, but um some fans in Quebec are probably losing interest in hockey already.
Yeah, the fighting definitely brings a little bit more of a danger factor to the game, if you know what I mean. Kind of a
Entertaining though.
little bit of an adrenaline rush.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't like the fact that, well, the Q obviously got rid of fighting and whatever. I hope the O and the dub don't follow suit with that one, because obviously it's entertaining for fans and whatever, but it also can be used as a way to like fire up your bench, whatever, right?
Yeah. And especially like when it comes to like a kind of a defense thing too. Like say someone does something that's out of line, and then if you're not allowed to fight, like the refs can only do so much. Like yeah, you can give somebody a penalty for it, kick them out, but it's not going to stop other players from doing it too. So at some point, you got to stick up for yourself too. And I think helping or fighting definitely helps with that too.
Consequence factor.
Yeah, exactly.
Sam McHugh, seventh rounder to the Leafs. Wilbs is gonna need a new pair of pants now.
I wonder what he had to say about Nickel getting drafted too.
Oh yeah, nickel to Edmonton. That was a sixth rounder. And I mean, it's obviously cool to see all the OHL guys go. We're all big guys that follow the league, obviously, and um look at it throughout the season and stuff. And Vage, you get to play against a bunch of these guys, so it's always cool to see guys that you faced and stuff. Um, One thing I also ask a lot of guys that I have on Vades is, has there been a moment where you've kind of faced off against a guy in the OHL where it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm playing this guy tonight, where it's not really like starstruck, but like it's like, okay, like this is sick. Maybe you saw him, you played against him in minor hockey and kind of big superstar now or something like that.
I think my first my first OHL game I played against Windsor, and obviously they they had like they stacked up, and they ended up losing the Kitch in the first round. So I think my one shift I ended up getting out against like Maggio, and like I watched him. I was on the ice with him, and I think I got the puck, and I was like, oh shit, like my first game in the O, and Matt Maggio was chasing me down from behind. I was like, oh my god, like what am I gonna do? So I just skated over the red line, dumped it in, got off because didn't want to be line matched against him first OHL game. So that was probably one time I was kind of starstruck. But then I guess you get more used to it playing with excellent players all the time that you don't even think about it anymore.
Now, another one I want to ask was Peterborough square corners. How wild is it to adjust to playing in a rink like that?
Oh, it's weird. We've been I've played there like my whole life. Like they have the Peterborough, I think it's the Lift Lock tournament in Peterborough, the AAA one. So growing up, like you grow when you play there in the square corners and the puck just does not bounce the same like at all. It's so weird. Like there's no other rinks have square corners, so it's completely unique. And like I think the boards are hard too. Like they're square and they're hard, so you get hit in the boards and it hurts. So they might, I don't know if they want to change that or if it's kind of something that's kind of unique to their rink that they want to keep. But I don't like the square corners. You kind of play to a disadvantage because they play there all the time. That you know how to use them, but other teams kind of just.
That was a lot like we used to have. Well, you know where that new rink is here in the Sioux now, right, Tate?
Yeah.
The one that used to be there before they rebuilt this new one had the same thing. Like the corners were like that. The boards were like hard. Like you'd like get the wind knocked out of you if you just got hit. No, you like it couldn't even like wouldn't even be a hard hit, and you'd still like get kind of like get the wind knocked out of you. And whenever we'd have tournaments in town here and teams would come from out of town, we always just use the boards to our advantage. Like crossing, like obviously, like it's just like no touch icing or whatever.
Yeah.
Minor hockey, but we just cross the red and just rip one down and bank it out off the end boards and bounce right out into the slot. So if you had a guy breaking for it, then you were set. Little short B-way.
Exactly. Like you know how to use it, you can play to your advantage. So it's always a little bit of a disadvantage going there, knowing there's square corners.
Yeah. I think the only time that the square corners in Peterborough will change is like in a couple of years or whenever they do it, whenever they get a new rink, because as people know that follow the league, it's a pretty old rink. They deal with a lot of problems with it every year, I'm sure, like it being so old, but I feel like they're gonna get a new rink. At the same time, I feel like there's a lot of cities that are gonna get new rinks in the next little while that are gonna be pretty cool to see how they kind of turn out, because you see all the like rinks that they build in the States now that are like $70 million facilities and stuff, and like the infrastructure for rinks nowadays, it's pretty wild. Like it's gonna be that in the OHL in the next couple of years, I'm sure. Like obviously like Sudbury's in the mix to get a new one. I know Peterborough's probably gonna be in the mix the next couple of years to get a new one, but
yeah.
I feel like every rink's gonna be different once teams start building new ones, right? Like you've got Brantford's gonna get a new one eventually. I feel like I don't think they're gonna stay at the Civic Center there. Although that was probably one of the coolest experiences this year, getting to see the Brantford crowd. Like they're right on top of you. Like
Oh yeah.
it's built as like a minor hockey facility, obviously, but um you've got the crowd right on top of you, and they're a passionate fan base, obviously. Like it's a small town kind of vibe. They've had junior hockey there for a number of years, and not too much success in Brantford, as you probably know from your days in the
No.
JHL, but they're really turning everything around there. It's cool to see the Bulldogs in town now, and yeah, there's a lot of things that are gonna kind of turn around the next couple of years here.
Well, isn't their ice surface like 20 feet shorter than regulation too, or something? Isn't it like only like 180
Yeah, it's a
feet?
smaller rink. Definitely not as
Okay,
much room.
we got a trade here.
Judging by your facial expression, it's not just a
Wow.
pick for pick.
No.
Who got dished?
So the NHL draft's wrapping up here. We've got one pick to go, and it had belonged to the Maple Leafs at 225, which now belongs to the Dallas Stars. And so trade was the pick for a player from Toronto going to Dallas for Chris Tanev. So
Oh, I knew Tanev was coming to
Chris
Toronto. I read
Tanev
about it like
coming
last night.
into the Leafs organization here. Obviously, a guy that's had success in the league the last few years with Dallas. So it's a huge pickup for the Leafs. And obviously, there's been some blockbuster deals, including this one on draft day. And obviously, with free agency opening up on Monday, there's going to be a lot more shockwaves going through the NHL next couple of days. But Tanev to the Leafs is a pretty big move, I feel like.
Who'd the Leafs give up?
Oh, wait, the Leafs got the. Okay, so the Leafs got the pick actually. And
Who did they give up?
um not too sure. I I honestly have no idea here. But they got a Nathan Mays from Spokane in the WHL, so that's obviously a good pickup there in the 7th round. But wild couple of days in Vegas, obviously with the awards and now the draft and a couple blockbuster deals here on draft day. So it's cool to see how that's kind of the end of the in-person drafts. You get a blockbuster deal to end the career of NHL drafts happening in person.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that I don't know. Something's telling me that the centralized thing is not going to last like too long for some reason. I feel like there's going to be some sort of reason that makes them go back to doing it in person.
Yeah, I feel so like I don't want to like say something bad's gonna happen because I feel like it won't, but there's gonna be something that like I don't know. The NHL, I feel like they're just it seems like and this happens with a lot of things, you're kind of just following in the footsteps of what other leagues are doing to kind of see if it works for you, right? So I think it's going to be a cool idea, at least for however long it sticks around and it'll work, right? But again, it's one of those things that it happens with a lot of things you see 10 other leagues do it and you're like, okay, we're going to do this now too, right? So
I feel like you got to be unique at some point though. Like, everybody has that something that they do different than others, and you got to be unique if you want to continue to get a fan base kind of thing. Do stuff other people don't.
yeah,
Yeah.
like every league that does it centralized does it kind of differently. Like obviously you still have the NBA who does it in person stuff. The NFL's kind of all been centralized for a couple of years now. So
Some leagues will have like the projected top 10 or whatever, like in person.
Yeah.
yeah, like you gotta do something a little bit different, like whether they just do the top 3 next year or something like the NHL offices or something, or like yeah, you're gonna have like there's gonna be cool ideas coming around with it. I'm sure like the NHL maybe will do like could even do like the Netflix series where you follow around like the top 3 guys that are kind of projected and you show their like life outside the ring throughout the year leading up to that draft, and then you kind of have the like behind the scenes all day on the draft day and stuff. And I feel like as a like a content person, that's kind of a cool idea to have. Like you always want to have like guys that you kind of know that like you can follow around and stuff. Like there's a lot of people that probably don't want a camera around them, especially like the guys that don't end up getting picked, right? Like what's
Yeah.
gonna happen with those guys next year that like I think they're gonna go, they have all their family over and it's like you have to sit there all day with a camera in front of you and it's like, well, didn't go. Like it's tough, but because you always see that every year. Like there's guys that go to a draft and stuff that don't get picked, and there's also guys that don't get to go to a draft and then end up getting picked, right? Like
Yeah.
those are the kind of cool stories. So I feel like that can change a little bit with it more centralized next year, where everyone's gonna have either a phone on, a camera on them, or like an actual camera on them, right? So that'll be cool to see how that kind of goes next year.
Yeah, well,
One thing I don't like that like the O does is like teams will announce who they're like whoever has the first overall pick, they'll like announce like the day before who they're gonna pick. I don't really see the point in that.
I think they should. I agree. I think they should like leave it so that the day, like, obviously the first overall pick can know they're going to take them, but like wait till like the day they actually do the draft, so that everybody else is like, it's like suspenseful. There's no like you already know. It's kind of like
Yeah.
when like a plot twist kind of thing. Like imagine you think this guy's going first, but he actually does. Like makes it a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can tell whoever you're picking or whatever, just so he can, you know, be wherever, you know, whatever team's picking him, so he can get there, whatever, do media stuff the day of. But I don't see the point in announcing it the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they probably just do that as kind of like a thing because like you're a young kid, you're going into junior hockey, like you get all the spotlight on you, and obviously as like a first overall pick, you have a lot of hype going into it towards you, right? Like I think it's more of like the team who gets it kind of just does it more for like the publicity side of things, right? Like where you can have your fans out to see it. Like obviously like Windsor did this year, like with Belchance, they had a huge like ceremony for him and everything, had the stage and everything set up, right? Like kind of more of okay, getting the views and likes on social media showing that this is the kid that's gonna come in, right? And I mean it's worked out really well in the past for a lot of teams, but there's also like some picks in the past in the O that really haven't worked out in top tens, right? Like it's been some first overall picks over the years that have had good careers, but after the OHL they really haven't made it too far, right? Like,
Yeah.
so there's that aspect too where you just try and milk it as much as you can, right? Like, again, it's totally different as like an 18-year-old, your NHL draft, like you're going through all the process of everything, but as a 15, 16-year-old, you're still a kid that the next day you have to go back to high school, right? Like
Yeah.
you're walking in the class with all the kids in your class that are like, okay, like now you're an OHL superstar, right? Like everyone kind of goes through that at some point, and I feel like works out for a lot of people, but it can also get in a lot of these young kids' heads too, right? Like it's
Yeah.
that's the tough thing, but at the end of the day, it's a league that's competing with other leagues, and you got to do it certain way to make sure that you're the best league out there. And I mean, it's so hard nowadays with so many junior leagues, right? Like in the BCHL doing everything that they're doing now, like not having to pay to play next year. Like you're getting so many kids that maybe would have gone to the OHL this year that are now committing out there or would have gone to the OJ or the GOJHL, right? And now teams
Yeah.
are losing kids because a league out west is so much better than what they have here now, right? Like
Yeah. It's changing the dynamic of like how everything used to go. I know like everyone, it used to be like, oh, like you want to go and play in the O, but the BC is definitely changing that. There's a bunch of guys this year that committed to the BC rather than going to the O, which was different.
I
yeah.
guess you also have to take into like consideration like NCAA eligibility as well, right?
Yeah.
That
Depends on what route you want to go, what you want to take.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of kids that at 16 years old, you're still like you're in your grade 11 year of high school, right? Like you're still having to take exams at the end of the year. You're just kind of like you're focusing on your hockey career, obviously, and mixing in school there, and then you've got a team that's gonna pick you, and it's like, well, now I have 4 years of school paid for, right? Like you play
Yeah.
one game in the O in a year, and then that year school's paid for, right? And on the other side of things, you play one game in the L, and it's like now I can't even go to the States to play, right? Like it's so wild. Like obviously the L handles that pretty well to be able to kind of control it in the best way that they can so they don't lose so many kids, right? Like, obviously, there's still leagues out that are competing with them that are not to say stealing kids, but are basically stealing kids at certain points. Like
Yeah.
BCHL is doing that pretty well with a lot of teams this year. So it's wild. But Vades, thanks so much for coming on here today. I knew as soon as we set this up, I knew Champs had to be involved in this, and he and I talked.
Yeah. Had to get the Billet family connection.
Yeah. Had to
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries, man.